artists, we're ready to play our monster dice game. So here we go. I rolled a 1 and while looking at the dice monster sheet, I had to draw that shape for my monster. But again, if you don't like the shape, you can draw your own shape. This is just a guide to help you to have a little fun on creating a step-by-step following how to draw it. So I've been rolling the dice and drawing the different parts. Now I'm adding my own details to it to make it my own love monster. So I'm adding some tentacles, I'm adding some details on my horns, I'm adding some swirls in the cheeks, a fun fluffy eyebrow, and a heart on the body. Now I'm starting to color in my monster. And again, use whatever's on hand. If you don't have any markers or crayons or any color at home, just leave it black and white. It can be whatever you want it to be. All right? Use what you have. I'm using markers because I had those on hand, but I also had crayons. And I'm going to start to show you how to mix markers and crayons together. When using markers and crayons together, you should always start with the markers and add the crayons as a second thing. Because if you try and start with crayons and then go over it with marker, it can ruin your markers because the markers don't like the wax from the crayons. But if you have marker down, the wax from the crayons can really go over a lot of different things. So I colored it with my marker, and now I'm taking my crayon to add some color around my monster. So he's kind of a bluish greenish color and not just a plain green. I like to mix different colors in all the time because artists like to create their own colors. So you can see I'm kind of adding the blue in different spots, kind of like shadows that you would have on a real person or monster too. So I'm adding in a little bit darker on the details on the tentacles and on the swirls on the face. I colored a little bit darker than before. Now I'm starting a new part. So again, I started with the markers, and then I'm going to continue with the markers in different areas, and then I would add some crayon over top. I'm sticking to some pinks and reds because green and pink and red are opposite on the color wheel. And that's called complementary colors. And so when you add those colors together, it really helps your artwork pop out and stand out. So you can see I'm adding some purple on the heart and adding some purple around it so it has kind of a silhouette around my monster. I like to add lots and lots of detail. I'm starting to think about what I want to do in my background too, so you'll probably want to be thinking about that too when you're working on your monster. You can see that I made a mistake. I drew a purple line where I didn't want to, but I just am gonna continue and I'll figure out a way that I can kind of cover that up so people don't notice it. I decided in my background I wanted to add yellow to really make it look like my monster had a glowing light behind it. I'm not coloring it perfectly, and that's okay. I'm using some different lines and textures. I then decided my black marker wasn't showing up as much as I wanted, so I used a black crayon to outline those important facial features on my monster. While finishing my last bit of detail, I then downloaded the app called Chatterpix and took a picture so that my monster could come to life and I could send it to somebody who needed it. This is the message that I created. Enjoy! Hello, artists! I'm so excited to see our artwork come to life. My special message is getting sent out to all of you. You guys are amazing, and I miss you all so much. Keep creating, and I can't wait to see the monsters that you make. Miss you guys!